Right, 20 February 2025, and today I've got a full house. I've got 4 guests today, and we're going to have a very interesting session. But I want to start by introducing General Stole. You know him very well, and he's been speaking this week. Today, a lot of developments have taken place in Harare, and a lot of developments have taken place in Bulawayo, and we're going to leave the floor to General Stole. We're not going to take time. We're going to give him the floor so that he can take us through what has happened yesterday, what is happening today, what is going to happen this weekend, and what is the situation with the military of Zimbabwe. General Stole, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gambakwe. Welcome all the viewers. I'm happy to be part of this live as we are going through the situation which is taking place and unfolding in Zimbabwe. Right, I think let me start from where I left, because I have actually given a highlight of what is transpiring on the ground. And I know at some point some people couldn't understand me, and some of them didn't position themselves on a point of getting what I was saying. Right, I'm still going back to the point which I said we have got 2 factional fights here, and everything is either one faction win or the other. It is going to benefit ZANU-PF. And we understand that because of the abuse of media and all those things which are taking place, a lot of people, they are really having their hope up and expecting to see a change through the ignition which was done by Comrade Geza. But we have got the truth which we know, that Comrade Geza is representing the Liberation War veterans, and the Liberation War veterans are having the close ally with the serving military department. And we understand that by so doing, the words which they are saying is a demand for the stepping down of the president. But as much as we anticipate for that, even myself, because the country is not working, there is a political dynamic which we need to understand, that the country on its own, it is masquerading as a constitutional country, a democratic country. However, we know that ZANU-PF is raping that constitution again to put everything in their advantage. But now on the developments which is happening, we see that the faction of the military, including the war veterans, they are pressing on to say no, President Mnangagwa must leave the office. And it is being said using the mouthpiece who are outside. And my analysis over this matter, it goes back to what people doesn't want to hear. When I say the only thing which is short over the zeal which is being put by this faction is the political muscle. I have come to realize that there is 2 mistakes which they have done. Number 1, military muscle without a clear support of the masses, which is being spearheaded by someone who is inside the system, it will never work. And this is the problem which is being suffered by this faction. Number 1, they don't have the political muscle, and they also don't have the masses support, which is being spearheaded by someone with a voice which can be listened by the people. For an example, if Chamisa was part of the game, it was going to be very easy because everyone is listening to him. But on the faction here, you can see clearly so that their mouthpiece is Comrade Nyoka Mabunu and the media houses which are reporting, of which some of their messages which are being reported, they are not clear. into giving the right direction to the people. Therefore, what have we seen? We saw that the G40 is actually trying to grasp the advantage over that, to come with a political muscle, with the very spirit of vengeance over the issue which unfolded in 2017. So by so doing, we are having a president who is in power, commander-in-chief of the defense forces, and also presiding over the presidential duties, facing the military, which is actually having a faction supporting him and another faction supporting the other camp. But these two factions now, the only difference which is there is that the one which is masquerading as the opposing faction to the stay of President Mnangagwa in the office, it's actually doing it in a Nicodemus way. No one wants to come in front and claim responsibility and give a direct command, which is going to give an impact to the masses to take action. Everyone is actually doing everything dormantly. They go to the presidential platform, speak to the president, begging to do something. They do it. They come out, they misinterpret it to the masses with the help of the media houses. So where we are now, today, Mnangagwa was in Bulawayo. He was actually accompanied by July Moyo there. He was accompanied by Chiwenga there. Jabulani Sibanda was also there, and Alpheus Mashaba was also there. And this is happening ahead of the National Youth Day, which is going to be celebrated tomorrow. And by so doing, he already executed another duty today, where he attended the NCC. It's National Competitive Commission, and he was there. Everything went well. He is going on tomorrow to meet the youth from different tertiaries. We want to see what is going to happen. And again, he is going to make sure that he is addressing the National Youth Day. But the expectation of the masses is that tomorrow there must be an action which is going to make a chaos, which is going to disturb the stay of the president on his office, or executing of his duties. We are yet to see. But the current situation on the ground, everything is going normal. That is what I can tell you. Everything is going normal.
Right, General, are you done? Are you done with the intro?
Yeah, yes. Let's go bit by bit.
Okay, so I'm happy that you've introduced, and it's very clear to me that the faction in the military does not have a political leader. So I agree with you. There is no political leader. Where is Geza right now?
You know, the whereabouts of Comrade Geza, as you can see, no one can actually tell exactly where he is. But the circumstances which is being faced by the Zimbabwe Republic Police in their bid to try and arrest him, it shows that wherever he is under military guard. He is under a secure place, which is not easy to actually apprehend him. Therefore, it's one of the signs which shows us that military is in the play, over whatever is happening in the country. So Comrade Geza, as of now, no one can tell you that he is where or point A or point B, you know. And if you can check from the public domains, it will tell you that he came to South Africa, and this is a hearsay. But the last internal information was showing that he was in KG6 under the military guard.
Okay. So now let's go to what you just said. If Geza is being protected by the military, does that make Mnangagwa stronger or weaker? What is the meaning of that? And how is this going to play out?
It's quite a dangerous game, Mkoma Gambakwe. As I told you that politics is a game. At some point himself, he said to the editors, you know, he is perplexed on how the media is failing to interpret political scripts which they write as the politicians, because they write scripts every day, but there is a misinterpretation. If you can take that statement, it will come to make a clear picture to you that the politics has got its own dynamics. And the pronunciation of Comrade Geza for the president to step down, and by so doing, the judiciary, our police summons the very same person to come and answer for the charges which has been compiled and given to the public. The failure of the police to apprehend Comrade Geza for over 5 days, it shows that there is a weaker point right on the side of President Mnangagwa, because he is the one who is controlling that side. At the same time, we go again on the camp of the military, which is actually in collaboration with the Liberation War. They are both military because the war veterans are reserved soldiers. The fact that they are just having Comrade Geza, if they do, but failing to actually interpret their intentions to such a point that the masses will understand and have a clear direction, it shows again that there is also a weakness. So these two events, it brings us to a point where we are not going to have a solution. No one is strong, because the president's camp is not having the clear picture of what is happening. I once said last week here that all the generals who are nominated to say they are behind this Comrade Chiwenga's camp, they have been asked and they said they don't know anything. And all the people whom you have seen singing for whatever they expect to happen to Comrade Chiwenga, they don't have that muscle and they don't have that backbone to stand up and say, this is what we want. So we are having the generals who go to the table of the president, bootlick, come back, go to the secret place, discuss. And that is what is being shown by what is being reported and the events unfolding. Taking into consideration now the issue of Comrade Geza, the failure of the police to arrest Comrade Geza, and all those sort of stuff. So it has been a long time. Remember, if we can reflect back in 2024, you still remember there was a private jet which was held hostage, or it was presidential plane which was held hostage in the air with a threat of a bomb, which was said it is not known who actually planted that bomb. Those are the tactics which is happening to show that we we no longer want you, just as the citizens no longer want President Mnangagwa. The military and the other faction camp of ZANU-PF no longer want President Mnangagwa. The only short part of everything is that there is no voice or a command from a trusted mouth which can give a clear direction to the people. Therefore, we will be speculating and triggering our anger, trying to force what we want to see to manifest, but it's not actually manifesting because the people who must lead us, they are playing double standards.
Okay, very, very clear, but that gives us a follow-up question. Who are the voices that we expect right now? Nyoka Yuma Bunu, Comrade Marong, they've been going for a long time, but they are ghosts. Who is the voice that we now need from the military side? Because they are on the street right now as we speak at 4 p.m. The soldiers moved into the streets again. So they're guarding the streets now as we speak. Who is the voice that is supposed to give direction now? Mnangagwa is failing to give direction. I think you can see that he's not addressing the military. He has not said anything. The public media of Zimbabwe has not said anything about the soldiers. Who is in control? Who is that voice we're looking for?
You know, the voice we are looking for as of now, Mkoma Gambakwe, is the voice of a person who is listened to. But as much as we approach this point of whose voice must work, it directs us back to the political matrix now to understand what is the real situation on the ground in terms of our political status in taking the political landscape of the country. We don't have that voice as of now. Maybe if Comrade Geza can just give the direction to say, please people take this way, people will actually listen. But again, it won't benefit anyone because remember, ZANU-PF is a system. And as a system, ZANU-PF is also guarding a system. And that system is the biggest enemy of the people. It's only that this message is not reaching to the people it must reach. Our biggest enemy is not ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is the defender of the system. He is the second enemy. You understand? So what is happening now, whatever is going to happen in this way, as long there is no memorandum of understanding signed between participating political opposition parties and ZANU-PF to actually say, this is what we are going to do, please bring your political muscle as far as the citizens and the masses are concerned. And we are going to bring our military muscle and let us meet together in between. Form a new thing which is going to actually drive us somewhere. It is not going to work anything. Whatever is going to happen, whether the signal comes, it is going to benefit ZANU-PF. I once said to you, the notorious move which was done by ZANU-PF was done in 2021 when they enacted the bill number 2. Bill number 2, if you want to see that it is not going to work for us, go to section 9 and you will read there is an amendment of section 101 of the Constitution. You know, that one, it actually shows the succession. Maybe today, let me go through it so that people will understand. So section 101 of the Constitution is repealed and the following is substituted. Succession is in event of death, resignation, or incapacity of the president or vice president. Right, 1, subsection 1, it says subject to the subsection 2 and 3. If the person elected the president in any election dies, resigns, or removed from office, 1A, it says the vice president, or where there are 2 vice presidents, the vice president who was last nominated to act in terms of the section 100 of the Constitution, acts as the president until a new president resumes office in terms of the subsection 2. And the vacancy in the office of the president must be filled by a nominee of the political party which the president represented when he or she stood for election. Then 2, it says a political party which is entitled to nominate a person in terms of the subsection 1B must notify the speaker of the nominee, the speaker of the nominee's name within 90 days after the vacancy occurred in the office of the president, and thereupon the nominee assumes office as the president after taking oath of the president in terms of section 94, which oath the nominee must take within 48 hours after the speaker was notified of his or her name. So you understand the 3, it says in the event of death, resignation or removal of the office of a person who is elected president in an election and who did not represent a political party. Okay, this is another part. So now let us now analyze Mkoma Gambakwe. ZANU-PF is standing as the organization which is occupying the office today, and we are pushing for the Mnangagwa camp to go. Right? How will it benefit? This is the Zimbabwean constitution, and this amendment of this section was done in 2021. It is called Bill number 2. This is where you see that the last person who was elected who was appointed to be the acting president during the vacation of the president is the person who must succeed the president should anything happen. That is talking of removing him from the office, himself being incapacitated, death, or anything else, which actually means even if the Geza revolution today goes to succeed to remove President Mnangagwa out of the office, there is nothing which is going to benefit the masses unless out of courtesy, if the person who is going to be standing in the presidency, as of now we know, the threat of President Mnangagwa is Gudoguru, who is VP Chwenga. And we saw what President Mnangagwa did now when he went to Ethiopia. The last appointed VP to act as the president is a VP Kembo Mwadi. And by so doing, he has substituted VP Chwenga from being a direct threat protected by the Constitution of Zimbabwe, knowing exactly from this amendment, even if ZANU-PF can put pressure which is going to bring him down, he is still going to have the party protected as a system, because they have to nominate now who is going to assume the office and notify the Speaker of the Parliament. Therefore, by so doing, the masses has been excluded. It goes back to what I was saying, to say whatever is happening now, it has got nothing to benefit us, whether we can put our own pressure. It is going to benefit ZANU-PF. But we believe that the failure of ZANU-PF is not actually attached to the individual. There is a lot of secrets which is happening under the ground through the administration of that presidential office, which we don't know. In such a point that by having Mnangagwa replacing Mugabe do exactly what Mugabe was doing, still the benefits of the masses is nowhere to be found. It shows that even if we can remove him and put another person without attacking the very system we are saying is our first enemy, we are not going to benefit anything. So our army is just becoming notorious of coming to picture every time we have the political crisis in the country. And if we don't find ourselves in a right position as the people of Zimbabwe, we will be always clapping the hands every time ZANU-PF plays its shenanigans. We need to actually regroup and start understanding the political dynamics because ZANU-PF is taking advantage of the ignorance of our people who are not willing to actually confront the situation as it is. We are using too much anger and emotions over these issues, and we are being taken of advantage by the people who seem to know, but we know they don't know anything.
Okay, General, I think you must be a doctor. The way you analyze the situation is amazing, and I hear you clearly. There's no way that you have left me in doubt. Now, let me go to sort of a wrap up so that we can give one or two more guys a chance to speak. You have spoken of two factions, and both of them are in a standoff. One side wants to remove the other side, but there's no one wants to step forward and be the leader. Do you think Chiwenga will step up and take that position since he's the beneficiary of this if it happens? Is it possible that the army inside themselves can remove both Chiwenga and Mnangagwa and bring their own person?
We have got no such. I don't think we are going to have that situation unfolding in our country as of the current status. Look what is happening here. The faction in ZANU-PF was triggered by the excluding of another camp into the benefits of the revolution which they think they have put together in 2017 when they were removing Mugabe. I said for you to understand this, you must go into reading who is Comrade Geza. Comrade Geza is one of the people who injected a lot of money into the revolution which took place in 2017. And by so doing, the spearheading political muscle which was there and using the advantage of him working with different departments, it was the President Mnangagwa himself. He was the architect of everything which was taking place there. So now, by removing Vice President Chiwenga from the army, it was a promotion, but at the same time the disarming of the network which can be a direct threat to him. You understand? Because remember, VP Chiwenga does not have any political experience. He has got military experience, and he does not actually constitute of all the political dynamics which are needed. You understand? He needs to learn right from the experience as they are unfolding. You can actually hear when he is addressing the masses that it is not his thing. You understand? So he knew that he's going to take advantage of everything which is going to take place. But the point now, which is so crucial on this matter, is that as much as this situation is unfolding, the military on its own cannot come to pronounce to dissolve the government which is there presiding over the formation of a new government. That will be something else. I don't see all of the generals, including the commander, having those guys standing up. So the chances are probability zero there, unless otherwise, but I don't see it happening in Zimbabwe.
Okay, so General, I'm hearing you. So let me tell you what my prediction is. And if this continues, let's say beyond Saturday, and no political figure comes forward to remove Mnangagwa, I believe that the military is going to nominate someone. They are going to be forced to speak. What you're saying that they're quiet now, they can't go back into the barracks. It's not possible. I don't think it's possible for them to go back inside the barracks. Do you see that as a possibility?
I think when you came live here, I was analyzing the speech. Mngoma Gambakwe, I don't want to lie. As of current situation on the ground, Mnangagwa is having an upper hand. He is using a dictating language. even to those, if you can go to that address he was doing with the editors, you could just see that the man was mocking, even though the body language was showing something. So we are dealing with a person with a courage here, well-oiled and with resources. One of the soldiers inside, you understand, was actually saying, it was a joking mode, but straightforward, to say one thing which is very dangerous over this man. He has got money to fund a war. You understand? Which actually we don't know. I cannot say so. But the fact is that we are dealing with people who does not have courage to articulate and put it to clear that what are their intentions. They are talking in hidden caves. I told you of the soldiers who are sending the press statements with closed faces, filtered voices, and you understand. And the people whom they are using, they are outside people who are in exile to send the message. You know, the point of departure itself is quite weaker to actually challenge a man who summons to say, bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He met a lot of people right now when he came back from Ethiopia, and we have never seen anyone challenging. And as of now, let us wait and see what is going to happen tomorrow over the issues which is taking place in Blawayo and Bedbridge. And let us see what is the move which is going to be done. You understand? I told you there is a deployment of the special force there already 3 days before. You understand? And as I can tell you now, he is utilizing his loyalties. And the other camp also is actually decreasing on the people because there is no direction. I told you that a revolution without a commanding voice, it's actually like a blind man leading another blind man. It doesn't go exactly to give a clear light. It was unlike that time. They went straight and closed the ZBC, open it, take over, give a clear direction to the masses, and it was like that the following morning. You understand? There was a clear commanding voice and a team which is actually claiming responsibility and also making sure that they are giving a clear direction, putting everything on hold. This time is like something is happening of the chance takers and all those sort of stuff. It is possible if they can actually increase a bit in their confidence. If the confidence is still on the level which it is now, it's quite different. I'm still analyzing. I'm still trying to find out. It's like when they moved the equipments from the barracks, there were two things there. Number one, there was an impression to say, let us scare the people so that we kept the chances of noise ahead the event which is going to happen. And by so doing, the equipments were moved, you understand. And most of those equipments now, they are back in the barracks. I think you know about it. It is 1 or 2 soldiers which are seen in the towns. So this actually shows you who is in control. So we really need to up our game as the people of Zimbabwe if we really need a change. We know because of the massive externalization of the people who are outside the countries, you know, there's a lot of pressure which is coming of wanting to see change and all those sort of stuff. But let us not forget the dots to be connected so that we will end up having something which is formidable and able to actually transform as we are having this position of trying to install the economic revolution. If we don't do that, we are not going to see anything.
Okay, very clear. And I think let us wrap up. Can you introduce your team so that we can let everyone go to bed? Guys, we need to see your faces. We need to see your faces. Try to show us your faces.
Yes,
show us some courage. We want to see some courage in commanding voice.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Tandazani.
Thank you very much, Brother Kambako, and revolutionary salutations to the people of Zimbabwe, and revolutionary greetings to all fellow Zimbabweans who are waiting for change. And it's always very good to see that the people of Zimbabwe are very much ready for change. The people of Zimbabwe are always communicating about change, and they want to see a better Zimbabwe. They want to see a country that is progressing, a country that is working, a country that is moving forward. However, I don't want to say much today, Brother Kambakwe, but as General Stolle has actually analyzed the situation in Zimbabwe, is that the concrete reality that we are facing as a nation is that Mnangagwa still has a lot of powers, and with a lot of powers is that as the people of Zimbabwe, we are no longer dealing with an individual. We are actually dealing with a system that has been oppressing our people for years. We're actually dealing with an autocratic system that we need to dislodge beyond Emerson Mnangagwa as an individual, beyond Constantino Chiwenga as an individual, beyond Kempo Mohadi as an individual. We're dealing with a system that has been in existence for the past 40 years. And that system, therefore, does not need people who are thinking that individuals are the ones that are responsible for the system to continue to oppress our people. It needs people who begin to think outside the box and literally begin to address some of the very pertinent issues as to how do we surgically as a country remove the entire system so that we can have a conversation as to how do we take the country forward. Because with this particular system that we have, we can change Mnangagwa, we can change Chiwenga, we can change Matema Danda, we can change Owen Ngube, but and as long as ZANU-PF is in power, the people of Zimbabwe will continue to suffer. The people of Africa will continue to suffer. ZANU-PF is going to continue to pursue a private-led economy, which has been a distraction for the past 40 years. So we need, therefore, to look outside the box and say, in as much as we need the removal of President Emerson Mnangagwa, in as much as we understand the call by Comrade Geza and all other revolutionary intellectuals who are saying that Zimbabwe must be free, but the question is, how do we make sure that the revolution comes true? Because at the moment the system is still very much powerful, because the people who are still pushing for the revolution, Brother Kambakwe, are the people who are within the system. So
Okay.
even if
I'm
we
hearing
remove
you. I'm hearing you, and I want to stop you because I don't want to dilute the message by General Stolle. So I'm good with what you said. Now let's go to the next guest.
Thank you very much, Brother Gambagwe. Yeah, this is Clayton Mzoremba talking. As General alluded clearly, I will just polish up one or two things. If I am not going to dilute also, as you said before. General pointed out that the fact that so far it seems like Mr. Mnangagwa is still on the top of the game, even though we cannot give all the percent that he is totally in control of the situation. Due to the reason that, number one, we don't have the center of command as it is right now. Like what we had in 2017, where the people who were behind whatever that was happening, where the people had a voice to say, no, guys, we're taking this direction, we're taking this direction, we're taking this direction. Now we've got Comrade Geza, we don't know. It is just being assumed that he's being sent with this, he's being sent with this, and Mnangagwa is also in position of that information that he's assuming that it is Chiwenga who is sending Comrade Geza. So General pointed out that constitutionally, Mnangagwa knew it. That is the reason why when he went to Ethiopia, he had to appoint Mr. or VP Comrade Kempo Mohadi as the vice president, because he knew if these guys from this camp try to do anything, they would not have power to us. They would not have the authority to assume power, due to the fact that the Constitution stated clearly that the vice president in the position at that given moment is the one to take power. So there's nothing that these guys are going to do. So as of now,
Okay,
the people of
I
Zimbabwe,
want to disturb you a little bit. Mpoko was in the same position when Mugabe was removed. Mugabe did exactly the same thing, but Mpoko was ran out of Zimbabwe. Why not run out Mugabe?
the reason is because we don't have any center of power as of now. And number one. Number two is because by that time, Mnangagwa was already expelled from ZANU-PF. And so far, Mnangagwa had not done anything to Chiwenga. So Chiwenga cannot directly attack Mnangagwa at this moment.
Okay,
So
that is the
we have
point I
a
was trying
different
to make.
circumstance now.
That's the key point. So I want people to
That
understand
one
what you
that we
just
had
said.
in 2017. The different
I
circumstance.
want people to understand what you just said. So I think let's repeat that point, that Mnangagwa has not done what Mugabe did, which is to remove Chiwenga. Do you think they're going to remove Chiwenga at some point?
Maybe I can answer that, Nkoma Gambako.
Yes.
You know, he is not going to fire any. He's not going to fire VP Chiwenga, because there is a play along game which is happening, and he has actually anticipated that, and he saw that this is what is happening. So he is going to play along also, you understand, with the VP Chiwenga, you know. And what I can assure you is that Mnangagwa is going to manage VP Chiwenga and making sure that he's having a closer look over whatever is happening. He is not going to fire, because he will be avoiding the triggering point of what is going to happen. So you must not forget about that. If he does that, it is gonna be his first mistake, and he knows that. He won't do it.
I think that is great. And I obviously don't I want us to delve into many more different issues, because the point you made is very clear. The biggest problem we have right now is that the military faction lacks a commanding voice. The people in the military are lacking courage. No one wants to step forward. And Mnangagwa is taking advantage of the hesitation to get more power and to consolidate. So Mnangagwa is consolidating, and he's making sure that the guys on the attacking side appear to have no direction to the people, and the people are losing faith. So that is what you said in short. Is there anything that I've left, General Story?
No, that is exactly what was my point.
Okay, so what do we end with now? How do you conclude here? Tomorrow you said we must look at Bay Bridge and at Bulawayo. Should we also look at Harare?
Harare is actually manned. You know, there is high security there. We can actually have a look, but as I told you, that there is a special task force which was put to actually make sure that they are on a look over the all suspected notorious cities which can be the epicenter of chaos. So there is a lot of security deployed, and making sure that even the police were said you can be at easy. You can just be on your presence, but they are working under the lead of a special deployment which was done. So what we have just need to do is to observe what is going to happen, and making sure that whenever there is any loop which happens, then maybe it can be the epicenter and erupt the chaos which can develop to bring what people want to actually see.
Okay, I think that was amazing, and I would like to thank everyone for joining. We are going to be having this evening broadcast until the situation has been resolved, which I believe is 18 April. That is where I am looking at, 18 April. That is the day when we have a final resolution. Do you think I'm too far or too near?
You know, it can be even too near, as I told you that There's nothing which is happening. Everything is just going as normal. You understand? You are having the president running the country just as normal. You saw 2 days back, VP Chwenga was in Dare. After that, he sent to Bulawayo. He was actually there before President Mnangagwa. He's the one who went to the airport today to actually take President Mnangagwa, accompanied by these other ministers, and they went to tour for this Edgar's, the Carousel Edgar's clothing manufacturing company. They were together there, and things were going normal. So we can even go as much as next year, because these people who are doing things, they are pretending to each other. So the country is just moving as normal. So it can go up until.
I tend to agree with you until we see people around the table making an announcement. Nothing has happened.
That is exactly what I'm trying to say.
Okay, let's give the last words to Tandazani.
Thank you so much, Brother Kambakwe. I really do not have much to say, but what I can say to the people of Zimbabwe is, in as much as we are all eager, we are all, geared for a revolution. At the moment, ZANU-PF is not going to remove itself out of power, and ZANU-PF is not going to be caught out off guard. The people who are playing this game as if they are wanting to remove each other, they're wanting to exchange power, they are still the very same people in the very same system that we are fighting against. So it is the high time for all the progressive forces, regardless of where we are. Let's have a conversation in terms of how do we surgically remove ZANU-PF from power, and regardless who is leading. I personally do not think that the replacement of Mnangagwa by Chiwenga or by Mohadi or by anybody is going to be a blessing to the people of Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF has become a liability for the past 40-something years. We need something new. We need new leaders on the block. We need new blood, new ideas that are going to change the concrete reality of our life. And those ideas are found within the people of Zimbabwe, within the young people, within the old people, within the war veterans, within the women, within the youth, within all the progressive forces, especially the working class. Let's have a conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm just laughing at the last comment here, which says that the army of Zimbabwe is acting like the Salvation Army.
Yeah, so
That's
you see,
crazy.
Mkoma Gambabwe, that is why says Zimbabwe Independent Movement takaona zvakakodzera kuti tishande negrassroots zvakanyanya tisati tauya kupublicity, because we have come to realize that there's a lot of issues, and the issues which are affecting the marginalized communities. And by so doing, if you can see on our foot soldiers who are on the ground under ZWIP and under ZIPWD, yeah, you will come to realize that, in the grassroots there, it's pity what is happening there. You understand? The situation in our country, it needs the citizens to sit and have a caucus, map a new way, which is going to be sober, zero emotions, zero anger, and making sure that we come together to understand what exactly we want to bring down. ZANU-PF is a system. The people must know that. It's not a person. It's just their game, that whenever they see they are losing power, they attribute all their failures to one person and demonize that person. You will go after that person as the masses. Once they are done, they remove that one, they put another one, they pursue the very same system. You will still see the marginalization of the masses, the looting, and everything not benefiting the masses. So we need to be sober as the people of Zimbabwe to actually pursue a new path.
Thank you very much, General. Thank you very much, Tandazani, and my brother, Muzoremba. Unfortunately, he got kicked off, and I would like to see you again very soon. We are going to be running this series, as I said, and I hope that you join us. And tomorrow, we are really going to be watching everything. I'll be watching every move that takes place in Bulawayo. Thank you very much. everyone who's watching, and a good night to you all.
Thank you, Mnangagwa.
Uko kuno aho pano mama wanna get it nice I know pura meso I know pura nzebe I know